All right, welcome to another edition of the Road to 240 workout. Today, what I got planned is I want to test something out with the POPAT laps. I want to see if I can try to maintain as close to a 16 lap average for all 6 laps. And I want to see how I was going to do on the machine immediately afterward. And maybe depending on how things are going, I'll attempt the vaults. But it's mainly can I maintain the 6 lap or the 16-second laps. Trying to finish there about 136, between 136 and 139. Basically, I just want at the very least be under 140 for the 6 laps before I head into the machine. So right now, I'm just going to go through a warm up, just kind of show you what I would do for a warm up before the test. It's going to be a bit of a shortened version than what I would actually do before a full run, but again, just give you an idea of what I'm doing. So I just gotta move some things out of the way. All right. So I always like to start with a little bit of high knee skips. Depending on how far I go, if I went longer, I'd probably only do 2 sets of these, but with the distance that I'm doing right now, I'll probably just end up doing 3 sets. So I'll start off with high knee skips, 3 sets. This is what, maybe 15 feet distance that I'm doing, and a nice easy walk back. So by the time all is said and done, at the end of this warm up, should be between 8 and 10 minutes. So I started with high knee skips. I'm going to do a straight. Usually I'll tell people to do a straight leg skip. I'm going to do more of a B skip that's typically seen in a track workout. So it almost looks like a straight leg skip that I get most people to do. In this particular case, I'm actually bringing the knee up, then extending the leg out, and I'm snapping that leg back down. Now, as I'm doing these drills, the skip, high knee skips, these B skip drills, basically A skips and B skips, I'm trying to be bouncy on my feet. And when I'm bouncy on my feet, it means I don't have to kind of muscle my way through running. Second set or third set? I can't remember now. I'll just do one more. The mistake that a lot of people try to make when they run is they try to just power their way through the run. They have a lot of tension in their body as they do so. Next drill I'm going to do will be butt kicks. But if you're tense, you're actually making yourself slower. So running is really, it's a moment of high tension, but then followed by quick relaxation. So as soon as the foot hits the ground, there's tension there. Then we're trying to get out of that ground contact as quickly as possible. And when we do that, we're able to use the elastic property in our muscles to generate more force. If we can use more of that elastic energy, then we don't have to muscle our way through our runs as much. Now with these this butt kick drill I'm doing right now, the way you want to think about butt kicks is not so much kick directly behind you. I mean, when you're running, you don't want to throw that leg behind you. What I'm trying to do, it almost looks more like a high knee run. What I'm actually trying to do is pull my heel up, directly up, versus directly behind me. So I pull that heel up to the butt, rather than behind me like this. And when I pull it up underneath me versus behind me, I can move quicker with this particular drill. All right, I'll do a few side shuffle drills, a few karaoke drills. Now I'll loosen up the hips, and then I'll get some warm up laps done as well. So with the side shuffle drill, what I'm thinking about with the side shuffle is pushing my way across versus trying to reach with my lead leg. You gotta think about push in the direction you want to go versus pull in the direction you want to go. Pushing is a lot faster, and it actually kind of goes back to I was talking about being bouncy on your feet, trying to use that elastic properties. When we push off the ground, whether we're pushing sideways or pushing forward, we can take advantage of the elasticness, probably just made up a word there, the elasticity of our muscles. And so when you're doing the side shuffle drill, if there's a certain point where you feel like both your feet are in the air and you're just floating across, perfect, that's what you want. I'll finish off with the karaoke drill next. I guess technically it should be karaoke. Anyway, I've always known it as karaoke. Once I'm done my laps, I'm actually just going to finish things off on the airdyne bike for the rest of my workout. Instead of I can't even talk right now. Instead of continuing on with the laps, because even right now, as I'm doing the warm up, I can feel my shins a little bit, so I don't want to push it too much on this. I got to be mindful about it. All right, so that's the drill portion of the warm up. Looking at my watch, looks like that portion alone was about 8 minutes. So I'll probably spend the next 5 minutes with a more specific warm up. I'll just kind of let things settle a bit on my end here, but I'm going to do 3 laps of the obstacle course, but I'm going to treat them as singles. And as singles, I'm actually going to run them quick. Now it's going to be at a speed that I wouldn't really try to do for all 6 laps. That's kind of the point. Because what I'm doing is I'm priming my body, priming the system to already be fast once I get into the 6 laps, without necessarily have to work harder for it once I'm doing the 6 laps. Hopefully that kind of makes sense. If I put this into more context, so a few days ago I posted, but last week I was doing some POPAT laps. The first 2 sets I did were three lap sets. On the first set, I did 50 seconds for it. On the second set, I did 48. But I was also, on that first set, I was kind of being somewhat conservative, still sort of using it as a warm-up. But because I kind of got that first set out of the way, once I got to that second set of 3 laps, I was able to go faster without necessarily trying to go faster because I had primed my body to be ready to go fast. Hopefully that makes sense. But this is why I always encourage people to warm up before their test. Because when you warm up before your test, think of it this way. If you're driving a car and you're trying to go from 0 to 60, it takes more energy to go from 0 to 60 versus if you're already moving and you're at 30 and trying to get to 60. So that's miles an hour, kilometers an hour, whatever the case may be. Just think of the numbers. It's easier to go from 30 to 60 than it is 0 to 60. When we don't warm up, that's essentially trying to go from 0 to 60. But when we're warm, by the time we start the test, we hit the ground running. So we're at that 30 mark and it doesn't take much to get to 60. So the way I'm approaching these singles is, again, I'm going quick, and then I'm going to settle down. I'll wait for things to normalize. And when I say normalize, it's when my breathing feels a bit more regulated, if you will. When the heart rate dropped a little bit more. And when I feel things have somewhat settled, then I'll do the next set, the next single lap set. And then once I'm done to 3 singles, I'll jump onto the machine. I'll do 1 set of the pull, 6 rotations. And just like the laps, once I've done that set of pull, I'll stop, recover, and then I'll finish with the push. And then after that, I'll give myself a few minutes before I jump into the 6 laps and then machine right after. So essentially with the warm-up, what I'm doing is a spike of intensity and then a period of rest. And that spike of intensity, though, it's short. It's short enough that I can recover for the next one, and I'm not going to be draining energy either, right? So I think this is where some people get their warm-ups wrong. When some people are saying that they're trying to conserve energy, it's probably because in their warm-ups they've just gone way too hard, and they try to sustain a hard effort in a warm-up. But when really a warm-up should be some kind of quick burst of energy, if you will, quick burst of high energy, and then a good recovery period in between, and then another burst and a quick recovery. So if we put it in the context of the test here, for me doing these single laps, I'm probably around 15 seconds, but I'm likely taking at least a minute before I do my next one. So there's a good period of recovery in between. Yeah. So I'll do one more set. At minimum, it'll probably be another minute before I do the last single lap warm up, then onto the machine. And I mean, if I'm looking at my watch right now, yeah, once all is said and done, it'll probably be at least 15 minutes that I've done the warm up. So I should probably grab a quick swig of water here. Now I'm not going to keep once I get into my main set, I'm not going to keep track of my individual splits. I'll have the clock running just so I know where I'm at after 6 laps. But I'll always just take my splits after this video. All right, last set for the singles. So as of this recording, it's July 28th. Just under 3 months to try to achieve 240. If I'm going to be honest, I don't, well, for one, I think I mentioned this in some of the other videos, I think I'll be hard pressed to hit 240, but who knows? Um, I'm hoping to try to hit it before October. I don't want to take the full 3 months to try to hit 240. At the same time, though, I don't want to be rushing my training either. Part of the reason why I'm feeling things on my shins because I'm starting to get a little bit overzealous with some of my workouts, at least my run workouts, and yeah, I was feeling it by the end of it. Yeah, I'll do. Okay. I was actually curious what my pull was going to be like there from starting from cone 1. That was about 15 seconds. Last full POPAT run I did, I was 17. So I mean, I doubt I'll hit 15. But if I can get under 140 for the 6 laps, I still want to try to be around 17 seconds on that pull. And where I'm going to be losing time is at the end. So I gotta anticipate that end part just a little bit more and be ready to pop as soon as I hit the end. All right. So that push there was just under 16 seconds. And in the test, last test run I did was 20 seconds for the push. Let's just, for ease of math, let's round it up to, we'll round it up to 16, what I just did there. Can I even possibly do it to 18? This is where mental is going to come in a lot more. I mean, all of this is mental at this point. Anytime you're trying to do your best, and I don't care what level of fitness you're at, you could be the lowest of lows, highest of highs. When you're pushing your limits, it's all up here. Or, okay, maybe not all, but a lot of it is up here. More so than in physical. So I'll probably give myself another 2 or 3 minutes and then try this again. Or try this again, try the 6 laps and see what I can maintain. So assuming I'm running even laps, I gotta be coming off of the halfway point around 48 seconds. And I mean, there's a chance I'm gonna be losing time on that back half. So I gotta minimize how much time is actually lost. after this, I think I mentioned earlier, I'm going to do the Airdyne. This alone is as intense as it's going to be. A bit too short of a workout, at least if I'm not including the warm up. So I want to get some more work done, get a little more volume, but do it through the Airdyne bike where I'm not having as much impact. Actually, have no impact on the legs or the shins. So, no. Give myself another minute here, maybe two. So, I'll do the machine after the run, regardless. If I'm under 140, I'll attempt the vault, but not immediately after the machine. I'll do the vault, give myself like 30 seconds to a minute before I do the vault. Yeah, so my heart rate right now is between 140 and 150. It's actually a good place to be before, at least for me, it's a good place to be before running the test. I'll take the mic off on this one as well. All right. So it's a little bit disappointing. I mentioned earlier how much of this was a mental thing. Yeah, I didn't quite have it today. You know, I should have completed the machine, but it would have felt more like a grind getting through it. Mentally, I wasn't brave to just go through a grind. Coming off the course, I was at 140, so I lost time on the back half because as I came around cone one, I took a quick look at my watch and I was just over 48, pushing 49 at that point. So, assuming I held pace, yeah, I would have been finishing around 138, maybe 139, but I got in my head a little bit. That's why I say today was more of a mental thing. I should have just kept on with the machine, but it just wasn't there. And that's how it goes. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. I was curious what the vault would be with a little bit of rest. So by the time I started the vault, that was about 40 seconds had gone by, according to my watch. And I started the split from the moment I left the machine. So the moment I left the machine to when I stood up on that final back ball was about 25 seconds. I don't know how realistic it'll be for me to hold that after everything and no rest just immediately going into it, but it kind of bodes well. So I think my best split for the vault within the test is 27. So who knows? Maybe I could hold 27, possibly 28. But man, those laps. I got some more work ahead of me. I'm not going to worry about recording the Airdyne workout afterwards. I'm going to cut this video short here, but if you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment below. Got any questions about my training or about preparing for the POPAT? Again, you can leave a comment below. You can always email me at marc, @roconditioning.ca. Till next time, have a good day, y'all.